change the dimness of master lights 10%. In today's video, I'm going to take you through an electrical hookup. Turn on the pot lights. From here, we're going to let out two wires. The first one, this one, is going to this outlet box. Now this outlet box is what we're going to be doing today. This is NEUTRA MSOP2 occupancy sensor. So when you walk into the room, the sensor activates, turns on the lights that are attached to it, or the fixtures. So in our case, we have these two pot lights. It works! You want to connect the hot, which is the positive hot wire that's coming in on the very top, and then you want to put the neutral at the bottom. There we go. Welcome to Investors Theory. In today's video, I want to take you through an electrical hookup. How to hook up these fixtures to be a smart light and how to make them hardwired as well. So these light bulbs have a NEUTRA smart light bulb. I'm also going to leave the link in the description where I got these fixtures and where you can get these awesome smart bulbs. They have a little computer chip in them. So I'm using a Google Mini and Google Home throughout the house. There we go. Let me just show you what I mean. So there's the Mini Google. Hey Google, turn off master lights. Alright, so we hooked up our pot light system in here as well as the TV and the fireplace. Hey Google, turn on Cynthia's light. Hey Google, turn on Marcin's light. Hey Google, change the dimness of master lights 10%. Hey Google, change the color of master lights to pink. Well, it's their version of pink. Hey Google, turn on the pot lights. Alright, so yeah, very simple. It's an app. You set it up, you link it with Google Assistant or Alexa, and then you're going to get that. But I also hardwired these right underneath here, right? So there's a switch. I turn this off. See? Controls the light. So, how do you hook up electrical? So when I built this closet, and I'm still finishing the tiling, I ran all the lights that you guys see here from this one outlet. I hooked up a 14.3 gauge wire. Now I could have gone with 14.2. 14.2 essentially means that it's a white wire that's 14 gauge, and there are 3 cables in it. Here is what the cable looks like, and the cable has a black wire, a red wire, white wire, and a copper wire. 14.2 would be just the black wire and the white wire and the copper wire. We hooked up the 14.3 right to this outlet, and then we fished it through here into this junction box. Now this junction box has got 3 connections. See, the reds are moretted together, the blacks are moretted together, the whites are moretted together, and all the grounds are also connected together. Now from here, we're going to let out 2 wires. The first one, this one, is going to this outlet box. Now this outlet box is what we're going to be doing today. This is a motion sensor, occupancy sensor. So when you walk into the room, the sensor activates, turns on the lights that are attached to it, or the fixtures. So in our case, we have these 2 pot lights. Okay. The other one, we fished through the ceiling all the way down behind the wall, underneath, right here. Now from here, we're expanding out to 4. 2 outlets, and then there's another one, and then we also have 2 fixtures. This one, and then one at the end that are controlling the 2 side lights. To do that, we essentially just fed 4 wires from that one central wire that's coming down from the top, which is really 5. Let me draw you a picture. For light switches, we're only focusing in on these ones. These are the Levitons. They're like $2. This is a switch or an interruptor. Interruptor essentially because it's interrupting the power that is traveling to the switch. So when the switch is down, and these are, by the way, marked top on top, when the switch presses down, that's cutting off the electricity and opening up the circuit, not allowing it to continue to the top. Now when you press the switch up top that finishes the circuit and closes it, allowing that power that is at the bottom to transfer up to the top. And then from here, whatever fixture that's connected, it's going to power on. So that's what we ended up doing down there. And then here's the video for it. You want to connect the hot, which is the positive hot wire that's coming in on the very top. And then you want to put the neutral at the bottom. So the first thing you always want to do, connect the ground wires. So we're going to grab an extra wire. It doesn't really matter what color you're going to use. And we're going to basically screw this into our green screw on here. And then we're going to connect it to one of the screws on the inside of the box. So our ground is connected. Now we need to complete the circuit. So the whites are neutral. So we're connecting both the whites together so the morettes are correct. Like this, like that. And then I'm going to crimp this just a little bit so it closes the loop and it doesn't fall out. Now the wire goes into this little groove and I tighten it up. Alright. So you can start to see the sparks. And there we go. That's through. Nice and tight. Now we grab our electrical tape and then we just go around it. And this creates essentially a barrier where you can go and touch it with your finger. Oh. Alright. This is a Maestro Lutron MSOPS2. And this is an occupancy light switch. Because this pot light is being connected down to this pot light. So we're really only hooking up one pot light. And then that pot light is continuing the circuit and passing the electricity to the second pot light. This light switch is hooked up incorrectly, meaning that it does turn on, there's power going to it, but it's not actually allowing the circuit to finish and transfer the power over to the pot lights. Now I do want to preface this by saying please turn off the power to the house, at least to the circuit that's inside this room. If you're not sure what it is, turn off the power to all the circuit, because it could be lethal and fatal depending on where you live. Again, do not do this live. I do not promote this. So we've got the white and the black and the red and the ground coming in from the actual power from here. So that white is connected to the white from this fixture, and then now we're connecting those two whites to this green. So we mirror it. There we go. So now that is good. The ground, make sure you connect this one to the ground, which are these screws. Basically you got to connect it to this junction box here. Okay, all of them have to be working. And then that leaves you with two blacks, right? So we're going to take this black off. So we want to connect that black wire coming from there, which is the hot one carrying the power right now in the load, to the black up here. And then we're going to take the light black wire and we're going to connect it to the bottom one right here. All right. All right, and then finally we've got our top, which should be connected to the black. So now we're going to basically connect it and test it. So we've got light. There we go. This one's good. And now let's other caps. So you can, and you don't want them to break as well. Try and put them in different positions. So if the caps do come off, they won't touch each other. And there we go. Alright, so now to program your Maestro MSOP2 Lutron switch, you've got two pot lights. You've got one button there. This is a tab. It's clickable. You've got your button here. And there's three things you can adjust. Number one is the occupancy sensor itself. So whether it's working as a switch or whether it's basically working on the motion sensor. So to turn that on, you basically press this tab once. And then you're going to get a little flash. That means that right now you've enabled the occupancy sensor. Now, vacancy sensor is when you leave and you want to just basically turn the on light on and off. To do that, you would hold this tab until you get two flashes. One and then two.
So now you entered regular switch mode. We don't want that, so we're going to change that to our one light. There we go. Next setting is this big button. This is where you set the timeout of how long these lights should be on. Test mode is one light. It goes all the way to 30 minutes. So it goes 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So to do that, we're gonna hold this until you get 2 flashes. There you go. So now it's on 1 minute increment. The third option is sensitivity. Sensitivity you can set from low to medium to high. So to do that, you press the tab and the switch simultaneously. The first light flash that you get after holding both together is low sensitivity. To get to the highest, you want to wait till you get 3 flashes. So again, let's just step back now, and it should turn off pretty much within a minute after I leave. So we're just gonna leave this here so you guys can see. All right, I'm gonna step back. All right, it works. So that is how to program your Lutron MS-OP2 occupancy sensor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you watch how to actually install this switch as well. 15-minute installation. If you want to grab this one and other sensors, look in the description. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.